What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 18th day of December, and we're moving right through this month, you guys. Here we are at $88.8 thousand. We're just as bullish here as we have been throughout this whole range, right? And really what we're expecting, when I say we're bullish, all I mean is we're expecting that this is the low or very near the low. If we see lower lows, they'll be insignificantly lower, right? Everybody thinks if we take out this low, we're going below 70K. I don't think, even if we did take out this low, I don't think that we're going below these lows here. I'm starting to think that we don't go below this low, though. I'm getting off topic. All I'm trying to say is what we've thought since the 21st of December, and I want to say it clearly now because I want people's expectations to be in the right place, is that we're going to be in a choppy sideways zone until probably some point in January. If not, and I'll show you why I think it's going to be January. I mean, we assumed it would be January, but it could be sometime in February too. Understand, and if you're hearing that might be a shock to you. We've said it plenty of times on this channel, but maybe you just maybe you didn't hear, maybe you're new here, whatever. Understand, since the 21st, we've been calling for sideways choppy price action until probably some point in January, probably, and I'm going to guess midway or later. And if not then maybe sometime in February. We could literally be in sideways choppy price actionville until February. Before we move up. And it's probably not going to be this perfect, right? But if we look back at here, right, we were in sideways choppy price actionville for a long time. That was from the end of February to the end of April, right? Whenever we were down here, we were in sideways choppy price actionville at the end of this long, slow consolidation to the downside. We were really sideways and choppy for a longer time than this, but right down here, we were just sideways and choppy for a long time, for months, and then we moved up. I think we're in a phase like this. And right now, being that it's the 18th of December, we're not even a full month into this. Typically, these phases last anywhere from about 30 days to 60 days. Like 4 to 8 weeks might be a more appropriate assumption there. But anyways, the reason why I think it could be January, beyond just that, beyond the fact that we've done the analysis, we've seen that every single time that we've hit this low level on the RSI, this cycle, that we consolidate, except for one. I think there was one time, was it back here? There was one time, was it here? Oops, let me see. There was one time where we did move up fast, but we're clearly not in that environment now. And that was here. But we technically didn't even touch this line, right? Every time that we've touched this line, all of these low points in the RSI that interact with this line, they correspond directly with a phase, a zone that's sideways and choppy for 30 days to 60 days, somewhere in that time frame. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but roughly 30 to 60 days, right? Beyond that being our guide as far as why I believe we will not break out of this range, why we will be in a sideways choppy range until January. Beyond that, we have the MicroStrategy expiries for open call options. That's coming in. I mean, first off, this week, by the end of this week, the 19th, there's a ton. These are the most calls that we have, right? The call to put ratio is 0.69. You can see it here in the little bubble that keeps moving. I can't put my mouse on it, but 0.69. That means there's more calls than there are puts. There's a lot of puts. You can see the red in this bar. There are a lot of puts here, but there's a lot of calls. When is the only from here until the end of all these expiries? When is the next big one? Right? This isn't that big. This isn't that big. This is the big one. And as time goes on, you see how big this one is. Next week, it's not going to be this small. Next week, a lot of these options will get rolled over into next week. So this bar will continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it gets to this bar, which is the biggest bar. You guys, on the 16th of January, that's whenever MicroStrategy's options expire, both as puts and calls. A lot of these calls for the 16th of January's expiry, these are calls that were put in when Bitcoin was up here. When Bitcoin was up here, whenever it was not down here, right? And when MicroStrategy, especially when strategy was at higher prices in itself. You might be thinking, why do we care about strategy? Strategy is the largest single custodial owner of Bitcoin in the world. You don't think that their success might tie into something with the success of Bitcoin too? Maybe when Bitcoin starts to do well, MicroStrategy will start to do well, right? Does that make sense? So if when Bitcoin starts to do well, MicroStrategy will start to do well. Can we reverse that using like word math? When MicroStrategy starts to do well, could we expect Bitcoin to do well, right? Think about it logically. If MSTR, and let's actually put it here, and I feel like it's pretty logical. I keep saying MicroStrategy. I should just say strategy, right? if strategy's been dumping off a cliff, you would think, I would think, that if it starts doing something like this or starts doing something like this, Bitcoin's probably not dumping, right? It's probably moving up, right? That's my assumption. I feel like that's not a hard stretch of the imagination. Why? Because they're the largest single custodial owner of Bitcoin in the world. The largest amount of their calls and puts will expire on the 16th of January. This is larger now, but again, as time goes on, this will only get bigger. All these calls are underwater. Almost all of them. They gotta be. They gotta be. And maybe they'll roll over, whatever, but I think this expiry, I think once we get to this point here, January 16th and on, that's whenever things are going to get exciting. That's when things are going to get exciting. And until the calls, until the puts outweigh the calls, until this put to call ratio, you see it says 0.88, here it says 0.69, until it's above a 1, I think MSTR is going to keep moving down. I think Bitcoin might be consolidating. Whenever Bitcoin's ready to rally, MSTR is probably going to capitulate, and then it will rally as well, but not while all these calls outweigh the puts, right? That's not how it works. Markets are made to take money from people, and the best way to do that is to get them into derivatives and leverage trading and options trading and put them in a position where they literally back themselves into a corner and they have nothing to do but just get creamed, basically. That's what's going to happen. I don't know. That's my thoughts. It's ironic or eerie or coincidental, whatever you want to say, that from here, November 21st, we typically consolidate for 30, which would be here, 30 days, right around here. We're on the 18th, so a couple days from now, to 60 days, which would put us basically in the middle of January. It's kind of coincidental, is it not, that lines up very well with this date here. I'm connecting the dots. Maybe they don't deserve to be connected, but getting back to the main thought here, beyond just the whole main premise that we've been delivering since the 21st of November, which is that we're in a sideways choppy zone. We can go up above 100K. We could go below this low. We're still in a sideways choppy zone, guys, right? Here, we went all the way back. We went from 78K all the way back to 95K in like 3 days. We were still in a sideways choppy zone, right? It doesn't mean it can't have a big range, but we're not going to be doing anything productive until probably mid to late January, if not even February. That's the main thing. That's kind of like the whole intro of this video. And it's been the main thought that we've discussed really since the 21st of November. Everybody since here has been, and maybe not now, maybe now people are bored and getting that, oh, we're just moving sideways. But back here, everybody was screaming, we're going to take, we're going to pump. We were like, no, we're just going to be choppy and sideways, right? Keeping our expectations right in the middle, because that's exactly where they should be. Because every single time, the amount of people, man, on X.com, at every single one of these highs that are screaming for, we're going to 150, 130K, new all-time highs are coming right now. It's ridiculous. And the amount of people every single time that we've been at these lows, by the way, higher low each time, screaming that we're going below 70K, the bear market's happening, 50K's incoming, bear flag breakout. It's ridiculous. We're getting people excited and euphoric bullish with lower highs, and we're getting people excited, euphoric bearish with higher lows. You guys, you're too emotional. And maybe not you watching this, but the damn market is too emotional. It's way too emotional. We're emotional and predominantly in fear. We've been in a long drive, a long stint of fear here, you guys. And I was reading something the other day. Somebody's like, being oversold in bear markets is not a good thing. Being oversold in bull markets is a good thing. But that's so silly, right? Being oversold in a bear market, being oversold is never a good thing, right? That means that you're coming down. But if you're looking to buy, it is a good thing. If you're looking to enter, it is a good thing, right? We just got oversold. To the degree that we got oversold on the daily time frame here on the 21st of November, we typically consolidate for 30 to 60 days, and then we move up. That's been the case since 2023, since the beginning of this bull market, and it will continue to be the case. The daily stochastics look good. We'll probably come up here. The MACD had a false cross. Look at this. We had a false cross yesterday, and we're starting to build momentum back today. This is a bullish sign. And a bullish sign in a sideways environment like this doesn't mean this. Don't get too excited. It just means we're probably going to do exactly what we've done. Go right above these highs, and then we'll come down. You know what's funny? And I'm thinking about this in my head right now. I really wouldn't be surprised if we did, just how we did this, if we just did that same thing but up to this level, if we just made a straight shot. Because what happened here? What happened here? Did anyone notice? I'm just thinking that I think like the average person. Like I think like one of you, okay? Here, whenever we did this here, we kind of expected this drop, right? I thought that we might get a lower low, so I was thinking we'd bounce here. Okay, we went a little bit lower, whatever. I thought we'd bounce here and come up, right? Okay, because throughout all this time, we'd identified that all these BARTs, we go down, we go up, we go up, we go down, we go down, we go up, right? And here, it seemed like everybody was expecting us to go up because that's all we've done is back and forth. So we called for us to go a little bit lower than these lows over here. But we went a lot lower than lows. This amount of dropping was not expected. And what I'm trying to deliver here is the idea that while most people were expecting we'd pump and then we dumped more, while most people here were like, okay, the dump's over, like me, and thought we would pump more here, but then we dumped more, it kind of caught us off by surprise. Instead of doing the back and forth BART, you just continuously did the downward BART here. Wouldn't it be funny if we did the same thing here? Now that everyone's on page with this manipulative behavior, as soon as we get a higher high, oh, we're doing the same thing we did before. We're just going to reject here. And then maybe we find a little turbulence, whatever, but then boom, then we rally up here. Gets people excited. We're breaking out of the bear flag, but to the upside. And then we come down. Just like people got excited here that we were breaking out of the bear flag to the downside. But no, I don't know. It doesn't have to happen exactly that way. I'm just thinking out loud here. Looking at the 1 hour time frame. We are getting volume on these pumps. There's a lot of volume that's actually taken place, not taken. Taken is not a word, by the way. Taken place. That's took place. I think taken would be better. Could you say that's took place? Anyways, 1 hour RSI is very bullish. We're getting overbought, not getting oversold. We're getting overbought again. We're finding support at the oversold area. That's great. You look great. Volume's coming in. Awesome. Stochastics are great. The MACD is great. All good things all at once. 4 hour time frame here. A little bit of bullish divergence and a double bottom here at the low. Beautiful. You even have, no, it's not bullish divergence here, is it? Almost. Bullish divergence there. Almost there. You kind of had this like W shape there. The stochastics are weird, but bullish at the moment. And the MACD is bearish, but you're building bullish momentum. On the daily time frame, the MACD here, normally my default is whenever the oscillators are below the zero, you're bearish, right? The MACD is bearish. But in this situation, I'd say we're bullish. As long as today we are bullish, as long as today builds bullish momentum. If today gets a solid green close like this, we've literally proven, provided, validated that this was a false cross to the downside. Do you know what happens when we get false crosses to the downside? Let's go back and see, right? Here was one, and this was the most recent one. It doesn't look like we had an extreme reaction here, but let's just go. Let's go back and see. Well, we had a false cross here. What did we do? It wasn't an extreme reaction, but we went from 102K all the way up to 112K in about 4 days' time, right? That's what the last false cross had us do. That's what it did. The false cross that we had before that was over here, and it was a little bit more pronounced, this false cross right here. This one was a little bit more pronounced, but you see it's very similar. We're coming up, we're near the zero. We get a false cross, it's a little bit more pronounced, but then we moved up higher, right? It wasn't anything that was long lasting at all. That was actually a signal that we were about to shift higher. As soon as we started building bullish momentum, we were saved, right? False cross to the upside here. We had that false cross, and then what happened afterwards? Boom, we went down. All I'm trying to say is we have a false cross here, proven, validated, if today, in about 8 hours, 8 hours and 10 minutes, closes here or higher. If we can close here at 88.6K or higher, I think that we're good. And maybe it's even like 88.2K. I forget. So something that's probably like above these opening and closing points here. Probably. Maybe it's like above 87K, 87.5K. I don't know. But as long as we're getting a green building of bullish momentum here across back today, that's a false cross, and that should provide a signal that likely this move that would correspond with this would be bigger than these moves here, and that ties in very well to the idea that I painted, which is that we're so used to this manipulation, so now we're like, oh, this will be easy. When we go up, we'll top off right here because it's right above these highs, and then we'll come back down again, just like we have, right? But it hasn't been that simple, and it wasn't that simple here. It wasn't that simple with this last drop, right? The expected quote-unquote manipulated outcome didn't happen, right? It came down, but then it came down more, and then it came down even more, right? People were just continuously expecting the bounce because they were so used to BARTs so that we deserve to bounce because this is what we do. No, we deserve to dump because we're at these new highs. No, probably not. I think people will have caught on to this idea by then, and when people catch on to trends change, things change. And I don't think that we'd reject from this area. I think that we'll just push higher to about 102K to 99K. Ultimately, again, you know, since really we've been down at these levels, we've been talking about the prospect of coming up to this zone. It is possible that we could go higher, but probably we'll stop around this zone. I don't know if Bitcoin will be above 100K by the end of the year, but I do think we're moving up from here I would be surprised if we move lower. But if we move lower, if I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong, it's not that big of a deal. We could see a slightly lower low or a slightly lower low and still recover like we have every other time, right? Like, and that's not the only time that's happened this cycle. That's like one of 3 other examples we could give in these long sideways consolidation ranges. If this right here was a flop and Bitcoin keeps coming down and we see a lower low, guess what? We're probably going to bounce right as soon as we get a lower low. That's probably what's going to happen, like genuinely. So I don't really know if I have anything else that I want to say. We've said a lot here. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Weekly RSI, bouncing right off the oversold zone looks great. It's just not getting a lot of oomph here. We need a little bit more oomph. Stochastics are trying to come out of the oversold zone. That would be great too. 3 days, 9 hours left. I will say, if the stochastics close this week like this, I don't know if that's a good look, rejecting the oversold zone with your orange line there. We need both of these lines to get above the oversold zone this week, man. We need that to happen. Otherwise, that's actually a bad look, and we really could, by the end of this year, go below that low. I'm not expecting that we do, and I've already said that several times that I don't expect that, but even if it happens, it's okay, right? It's okay. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.